To be a philosopher, just reverse everything you have ever been told and have a sense of humor doing it. That's Chris Jamie. I'm Justin, jersey number 14.
And I'm Corey, jersey number 72. Welcome to a grand edition of the Gear Freaks podcast. Yeah. This is one of the ones we have had highlighted, bold, italicized, underlined, big-ass 72 font for a while since these rumors started trickling out. And now, all 31 reverse retro sweaters are here, my friend.
Oh, my God.
We've got them all.
All of them. Right in front of us.
Dude.
Look at that.
This is not like the NBA City Edition where, like, we're trickling a few out. We're going to go easy on you. We don't want to overload you. The NHL's just going, dude. They're flopping it on the table, guns blazing. Dude, same. It's better than because there's no rhyme or reason to. If you're a fan of a certain team, you know, it's like, okay, well, like this in the NBA. For both of us, as a Sixers fan like myself and a Suns fan like you are, ours were among the first to have dropped in the NBA when it comes to City Editions. But like, if say the Sixers, because the Sixers were among the first to drop. Then if like a couple weeks go by and you haven't seen the Suns yet, you're going, dude,
where are we?
Can I get anything? Can I get a leak? Something?
Yeah.
Some equipment guy? Just be a Judas and give me something. Here we get everything at once.
Yes.
And it is just amazing for the most part. And so there is definitely some junk. Of course.
There is two that piss me off. And then there's a lot of middle of the pack.
Yeah.
But there are some magnificent ones in here, too.
There's a lot. It's funny, man, because we've talked before about, like, you know, we're the Gear Freaks, so our jersey purchases. The first thing I thought was, man, if we get like access to these, you know, your boy's going nuts. Because there's quite a few in here that it's like I would like to have a lot. And again, it's like anything else when you get these large dumps. As you said, there's some trash there. There's some stuff that you go, man, you could have done this differently. A lot of it, for the most part, like you said, is kind of like, okay, I don't feel strongly one way or another about it, but I like it. I don't hate it. There's some upper echelon here. When I was putting my list together, I went, man, you know, because I wanted to do let me do a 10, and then I wanted to be extra douchey and rank them from 10 to 1. You know, just so as I'm going down, I can pick and choose. And, you know how we do it here, everybody. Like, we'll bounce them off each other. You probably have some that I do and vice versa. So it's like, okay, you want backups. So I'm like, okay, this way, just in case we end up getting really weird. You know, I've got the ranking system going on. So this is amazing.
I may not have numbered them, but I have 11 that I've listed as winners.
Okay. And then I like that.
Yeah, I've got 11 listed as winners. Then I've got a bunch middle of the pack. Then the 2 that pissed me off, and then I've got 5 losers.
I'll say this, man. It's like the City Editions in the NBA. The bad is really bad. But on the flip side, the good is like there's one in particular that I think is better than anything the current team has. And I don't even hate that team's current gear, but immediately I went, yo, that's a step up. That is a step up from what they've got. So, and there's a lot of they did not lie with the retro, for sure.
Oh, no, not at all.
Which is,
in some cases, absolutely magnificent.
100%.
In some cases, not so much.
Right. Because we have to cover the good and the bad.
Yeah. All right. I want to start with my ranked number 1. Oh, well, I guess I didn't need to click it, but I did anyway. The Winnipeg Jets. Oh, my God.
It's glorious.
Wow.
It's glorious.
It is. Wow. So they do the retro, obviously. So they bust out the old school logo, which I love. It's 100%. Simple, but I love it.
Yep.
but they reverse the colors of the current team.
Yep.
So now you've got the gray as the majority.
Yep.
The primary, and it looks wonderful.
It looks good, dude.
I want to go back to this one because it looks better here.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it. You know, the white piping here.
Yes.
Normally that'd be a turnoff for me, but it just looks fucking good between the blue and the gray.
It does. It flows, man. And it's funny because you never really realize that the gray is there on the Winnipeg sweater currently until you see it and you go, oh, yeah, that's right.
It is there.
And it's so cool because this is, and there's a few of these in here that when you think reverse retro, this nails it because like
Absolutely.
you said, you've got the retro, the original WHL Jets logo, the Dale Hawerchucks. You've got that crest, but you take the current color scheme and apply it to the old school. That, to me, when you say reverse retro, when they're putting out all the teasers and all this other stuff, that's what this is.
Yeah. 100%.
That's what this is.
Nailed.
And we've talked before, man, Winnipeg, save for the Blue Bombers.
Yes.
You know?
You know what you've done, you sons of bitches.
Come on and talk about your junk.
Respond to my damn tweets.
There is no gold on the Winnipeg Jets reverse retro sweaters.
Imagine that.
What a concept.
Because they're not like the Golden Jets or the Blue Jets.
Right. They're just, no, we're going to stick with, and that's what killed, because Winnipeg's colors seem to be the blue, like the blues.
Yeah.
You know, the blue, that not the St. Louis blues, but the shades of blue.
Yeah.
This works so well, and I love the Heritage Classics. I had them at number 4 when we did the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Man, these are damn good, dude.
I honestly, when I saw this one, because I had forgotten about them somehow.
Yeah.
This was one of the last teams that I sought out. I'm considering dropping West Virginia for these and putting them.
I mean,
I'll probably have to shuffle if I put them in. But
you got a spot to play with.
Yeah, nobody needs the West Virginia Mountaineers in there, and they've been in there long enough. So maybe next week I might have a switch.
There we go.
I went with Winnipeg as the winningest of the wins.
Okay. I dig it. All right, I'm going to start at my cream of the crop. Oh, yeah.
Can't see the finger spin.
I'm going to go my numero uno, the Minnesota Wild, dude.
Oh, dude. Yes.
Yo, this is the one, and I don't love their current gear.
Right.
But I like it.
It's
like
okay.
it. It's fine. I'd rock a Wild sweater.
Once Joe was like, it's a bear.
Dude, yeah, when Joe told us, the logo is actually like the shape of a bear head. Like, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
I even, when these came out, went, oh, damn, that's right, it's a bear head.
It's a bear head.
But, man, because there's still, we're old enough to remember the Minnesota North Stars. So there's still something kind of wonky about, even though the Minnesota Wild have been good, like, they haven't been a waste of a franchise.
Right.
But you still think Minnesota, North Stars, the Neil Brotons, the Brian Props and stuff like that, the Cicerellis. And now you go and you make that Wild again, reverse retro, and it's North Stars colors. Man.
We'll come back to this idea because they nailed this idea. Borrowing from an old team, they nailed it. Like, absolutely. Like, I have them listed at probably, I think 6.
Okay.
But they 100% nailed reverse retro.
They did, dude.
Whereas there's other teams who kind of tried to do the same thing, but fucked it all
Just
up.
miserable failure. Yeah.
This is wonderful.
I am obsessed with these. And man, those, I like again, we talk about like how you've kind of like the effects as we started this pod that we've had on each other.
Yeah.
I've started to like accept white gear into my life a little more. And now you're coming more to the side of like hockey gear.
Yep.
This Wild it's a white sweater. But if you're going to go white sweater, if you're listening, Seattle Kraken, you got to have that color on the sleeves.
You have to.
me. And that's what does it, man. When you put that green on the sleeve, the green collar matches, so there's nothing in the way there. So it flows. You don't put like a gold collar on there. They've got the little stripe of gold, but it's not really in the way. The predominant color is green. Holy shit.
That is a good goddamn sweater.
I feel good that the North Stars are represented kind of now.
Yeah.
It's like, Yes.
I would have thought Dallas would have done it, but no, I'm glad Minnesota did it because it looks good that way.
That's who should have.
Yeah.
It does. And it makes it ups their gear to the next level 100%.
So no surprises here. I'm going San Jose Sharks number 2.
Got them on mine as well.
Look, the Sharks have never done me wrong, and I'm not really they didn't even really take any chances here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's not great.
The Sharks will never do you wrong, friend. They won't.
So they've gone gray here and I like what they've done with the sleeve here. I don't see the retro other than maybe the logo.
So they wore these. It's weird because there was real brief. These were like the late 90s, early 2000s, like the Evgeny Nabokov, Nolan years.
So I just wasn't paying close enough attention.
Well, they were weird, though. Like, they were nice because they were Sharks gear, but the gray on those back then, again, you got to remember late 90s, early 2000s, it was a real in-your-face, kind of metallic. Mm-hmm. So it was easy to lose sight of kind of what was going on there.
I like this.
That's the style, yeah.
I like the style. I like the... we talked about the logo at length.
Yes.
Love the friggin' logo.
It's so good.
I like that you're not losing the teal. It's still very prominent. It's the Sharks, man. You
got to have the teal if you're the Sharks, and I like the idea of you make it gray because gray is a color of the Sharks because Sharks are fucking gray,
right?
So it's like, hey, they're wearing the color of the animal they are, even though the animal on their crest is black for some reason, but you still have the black represented.
Yeah,
man. And they went back to the old, that same era number style, that same font. It's funny because these style of sweaters were around when Patrick Marleau was a rookie. Patrick Marleau is now 44 fucking years old and just re-signed with the Sharks.
Wow.
And he gets to wear these again.
Good for him.
Right?
And good for us.
Yes, exactly. He has now existed when these were original and now when they're retro. He is like the new generation Jaromir Jagr.
Good for him.
Patrick Marleau. Hell yeah, dude.
I like it. So the San Jose Sharks are my number 2.
Like you said, you can never go wrong with the Sharks, man. They're one of the teams throughout all of the major sports that they're never going to bum you out gear-wise. Mm-hmm. You're always getting something good. I'm going to go number 2 on my list. Give me the LA Kings, man.
Yeah.
And it's weird because and again, this is another one where reverse retro it right on. So they go with the purple and the gold, which is the original color scheme, and it's the Gretzky era sweater. Now, we talk purple is the color of Kings, allegedly, or whatever, Royals, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So the color scheme purple and gold makes sense. And again, we've talked about it before, like the Lakers. Mm-hmm. The scheme itself is a win.
Yeah.
But if you look at their original, their old school sweaters, their inaugural, Marcel Dion's, mm-hmm. That crown was just goofy looking, man. It didn't look right. It looked like the Hampton Coliseum.
Yeah.
It just looked like shit. But
didn't they try to redo that in the early 2000s or something?
Yeah. And they were
bad then too.
So bad. So bad. That was when they tried to work the purple in with the Gretzky era colors. Yeah. And you're like, man,
don't do it.
Get these all the way out of here. They are awful. I don't even like their current stuff a whole lot, but at least you still have the dignity of the Gretzky colors. These, you got the Gretzky sweater. That Kings logo is so dope. And you put it with the purple and the gold, man. You got it. Now LA, you got the Lakers too. This Laker colors. It's their original colors, only without that suck-ass Kings logo. These, I love them, man. I love them. And I had these at number 10, the Gretzky's, the black Gretzky's. I don't know, man. These are another one that I'd like to add to the wardrobe, man.
I had these at number 7. These are, I think I saw that referred to as the Forum colors.
Okay.
Which I like. We always talk about New York has the orange and the blue.
Yes.
And Pittsburgh has LA purple and gold. I love it.
Right.
I love it. It immediately, I had reservations at first. I re-looked at it and I'm like, no, this is a good gear. I initially had them in the middle of the pack.
Right.
The more I think about the purple and the gold together, it's such a win combination.
It is, man.
And with the Gretzky era logo, it's just like this is win. This
it is, dude.
Win.
It is. You put it over the top. The gold collar and the gold C, just everything about it. The gold trim, the tail stripe, and the stripes on the sleeve, and that little gold outline across the crest. It all looks so good against the purple, man. These were the main two for me that I was like, yo, need.
I think when we get to 5, because we have a couple comments here. When we get to 5, we'll bring in the comments and then we'll wrap up the whatever else we'll got left. So I'm gonna go number 3, not just because we're prophetic. I'm going the wrong way. The Vegas Knights.
Yeah.
It leaked a couple weeks ago that it was a 3rd, but apparently it's their reverse retro.
Yeah.
They've only been around a couple years, so it's really just a reverse.
It's like when the Rays, remember those fake Tampa Bay Rays throwbacks we were talking about? That's what this is, only not sucky.
I think design-wise, I like it better than what they rock, period. I'd like to see this like in the regular colors,
the gunmetal.
The gunmetal.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that just to see if it works. But this, the red, the swords, the starburst. Oh,
this is their better logo, and we talk about shoulder patches a lot on hockey sweaters, and this is typically their shoulder patch where you got the Create a logo, the Night Mask guy as the crest. This looks incredibly better to me. I mean, we talked about if you go back and listen a couple weeks ago, we called this when we talked about the Vegas alternates when they came out with Calgary and Ottawa sweaters. I feel like we should get a cut,
For everyone they sell, we get $5.
Yeah, like the next day in the Discord, I think Joe posted and was like, hey, guys. We're like, yo. And now here it is.
It is.
It looks good, man. I like they kind of switched up the tail stripes and the sleeves a little bit. I think that's an homage to the Las Vegas Thunder that used to play in a different hockey league back in the day. But, again, man, when you're Vegas and you've only been around for 3 years, I mean, I guess you could say you're kind of limited in what you could do, but they couldn't do any better than that.
No,
they couldn't. Even if they were around for 20 years, I think that those swords and the starbursts crest looks so superior to the damn Creative Team logo. I can't get over it, man. And you see, it's a small detail, but that red in the starburst that you normally that's always there. That's not a color tweak. You butt that up against that red sweater. It looks good, man. It looks good. It makes the swords pop.
Yeah. And suddenly Vegas Knights go from middle of the pack in the league to these are one of the best
they're good.
Retros.
100%. 100% they are. So I'm going to I don't want to lump two together yet because I don't want to steal a mention away from you. Potentially, because I think we probably both have these on the list. So for my next one, I'm going to throw the Carolina Hurricanes into the mix because, we dig the Whalers here on the Gear Freaks pod, and who the hell doesn't? You can never lose when you have the Hartford Whalers in your life, except the fact that they lost all the time. But, man, and I'm weird. Like, the Whalers sweater I prefer is the green one. I like those the best. The Ronnie Francis's, the Pat Verbeeks, I think they look sweet. But there was a stretch, man, right before they went away and moved to Carolina where they kind of went to a darker blue and they went to like a light gray sweater, which is what we've got here. And, over time you forget about it. This looks amazing. The only gripe I have with it, and it's not the only example of it on this list in the 31 reverse retros, is it's still weird to me to see the whale on the front of a Carolina Hurricane sweater. I get it because Hartford moved to Carolina, but it's still like...
So on that note, this is one of the teams that pissed me off. It makes me so mad. How dare you?
I teed you up.
Now look, I love the sweater.
Yes.
Like, in a vacuum, if this is a Hartford Whalers sweater, I'm in.
Right.
This might be one of my favorites, period.
Don't tell me it's the Canes.
It's 100% top 5.
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You are not the Hartford Whalers or the Carolina Hurricanes.
I know.
How dare you?
I know.
How at least they had the dignity to give the Whale their color scheme. We'll talk about somebody else later.
Yep.
But how dare you try to rope me into buying a Carolina Hurricane sweater by putting the Whale on there?
Right. It's a cheap pop, as Mick Foley would say, because you know that, I don't know, man. I don't know how much Canes merch moves, but I know their attendance sucks, and they're not a bad team.
Right.
It's just Raleigh. It's hockey.
Yeah.
It's hockey and Raleigh, I should say.
In North Carolina. Like,
there's not.
Why did they move there?
Not a big presence. Exactly. Why did they move from Hartford, Connecticut to there?
It doesn't make sense.
You know? I mean, I get the backstory, but it's like, man, you couldn't have relocated somewhere else. You go to Hickville, and now you're rocking the Whale. I couldn't get past how.
It's a great sweater.
Yeah. So I give them the nod, even though I agree. This is one of two that I was like, man, so good, but you're kind of ripping us all off here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a level of fraud here that I am not okay with, but I will accept because I don't have a choice.
So I'm going to skip my next one because you might have it, and I'm going to skip to my number 5.
All right.
Because I don't know that you do. And this one kind of came out of left field for me. I love the Habs, their regular jerseys.
Yeah.
These are wonderful. I did not think I'd like a blue Habs sweater.
Right.
To me, like, in theory, it doesn't work at all. But you see it in practice there, and wow.
It looks damn good, man. It does. Part of me, and we talked about Montreal on the Iconic Gear episode. A Habs sweater is awesome. Something about that, it kind of looks better to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just different because I think you got to have that Canadiens logo against the blue stripe in the middle, typically. But these are awesome. And Montreal is one of the teams that you feel like you said, I mean, they're a pillar for a reason. You kind of feel like you can't tweak them.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you're allowed to, it's reverse retro. You're allowed to just switch the colors up.
Yeah.
And it still looks dope.
Yeah. And I don't know. To me, it's just something about that blue being the primary. It just, like you said, something about it pops. And
it looks good.
It makes me feel way better than I thought. Again,
right.
It's the Habs, and I hate them. I hate their guts. It was hard enough giving them their due in the Iconic episode.
Yeah.
And now here I am again singing their praises for getting something right.
Yeah, we can't Barry Horowitz them anymore, pal. We can't.
This has got to be the last time.
Yeah. That said, hey, sweet gear, though.
Yep. All right, where are you going for number 4?
Because I'm going to leave a few more out there and see the direction we go. I'm going to lob out the Buffalo Sabres. Now, I have always been a fan. I wouldn't go out and buy a ton of Buffalo Sabres gear. But I've never been against it. I've always thought they're kind of cool. They're all right for the most part. They've got some junk like everybody else does. But I remember these sweaters when they were the red and the blacks and the whites. The kind of Maxim Afinogenov years and Michael Pekka and all those dudes. And I liked them a lot. Again, this is another one that goes perfect with reverse retro. Take an old school sweater, make it your current colors. It works perfect. I have one problem. That buffalo in the tail stripe. I do not like it. It is stupid. It was not okay in 2000. It's not okay now.
You know what's funny? I love this jersey. I love this. Love this.
They're great, dude. They're great.
It landed in my losers pile because of that. Because of the buffalo.
It sucks. That part sucks. It's so bad. It is distracting. It makes you go, man, I can see why you looked at it and went, hell yeah. And then,
It completely went from, yes, elite level to, what? No.
What I don't get about why they would do this, and again, it's a carbon copy of that era of sweater, save for the colors that they put in the current ones. The thought process behind putting the buffalo in the tail stripe, and even there's another team on this list, I don't know if we're going to touch on them, so I don't want to spoil it, that put their name in a tail stripe on the sweater. I don't understand because as a hockey fan, like I realize there's not a lot of outside eyes on the product, right? You're not having a lot of people watch hockey games that aren't hockey fans. So if you turn on a game, I know this is the Sabres without seeing it across dude's crotch.
Right.
I'm good. I know it's the Sabres.
Yeah.
Don't put it there. It's just, it looks dumb. It's distracting. It takes away. I still liked it enough to put it in my top 10. But if you do away with that Buffalo, it would have been higher. It definitely would have been higher.
That would have easily been a top 5 for me because I already have fallen in love with Buffalo's new gear.
Yes.
I love their new stuff.
Yeah, dude.
All right, I'm going to take a wild swing here outside of my top 5, but I'm putting it as my top 5 as we go.
Let's do it.
And I couldn't believe this either because they literally just put out their old gear, the Florida Panthers.
These
I want to hate it because I did. Like when this was their gear, I hated it.
You didn't like the Ed Jovanovskis?
No. But that, something about it right now, it could be like they have a really, really garbage logo right now. I hate it.
It's not good, man. It's not good.
And just, it looks good here. I don't know, again, maybe it's doing exactly what I need it to because it's reverse retro. It's retro.
Right.
And it's bringing out those feelings of when the Panthers came in. The idea of the Panthers, I hate. A team playing hockey in Orlando, Florida, or
Sunrise,
Orlando, right?
Sunrise, Florida, basically.
yeah.
It. There's a reason they're like fringe playoff team every year, and nobody in Florida gives a shit.
Yeah, they've been to a cup.
Yep, they played Colorado in '95, I believe. Yeah,
or it was a sweep. It was a sweep or 5.
I think it went 5. I think Scott Mellenby in the squad, John Van Beesbrook. I think they took one. I'm not positive. But I remember that, man. And this is another one. We talk about shoulder patches a lot on this show. Mm-hmm. I love the shoulder patch on this one. It doesn't work as the main crest because you can't have the Florida Panthers and have a palm tree and a hockey stick and a sun. It just doesn't work. But it's that is what a shoulder patch should be in hockey.
Absolutely. Like
represent the community. Yeah. Right, exactly. It looks good. I kind of like that Panther logo.
Me too.
But again, it's like, okay, am I just remembering it fondly because I'm juxtaposing it to the shit they have now? Because that Panther head by itself now is fine, but you put it in that weird thing and put Florida on there.
You've done too much.
Man.
Do less.
Right.
Do less.
We know you're the Florida Panthers. We know. What do you think? Like millions of people are rushing to, the Panthers are on?
Let's go.
Florida hockey? Yeah, man. Let me give up my Tuesday night to see what Aaron Ekblad's doing. No.
I couldn't even name a player, so good on you.
I like it, man. It's an under-the-radar pick. I went kind of, bottom of my top 10 with the Sabres as well, so I like it because it brings a different team into the conversation.
Technically, I had Florida in at 10, and the reason I went that low is because there's one that you might have, and then there's another one that feels like a boring pick after the conversation we've had. So
yeah, and that's there's definitely a couple that still deserve mention. I know we'll tear through our list at the end like we usually do.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely still a lot that deserve mention. And I'm going to go with one of my under the radars. I've got them at number 9 on my list. And I kind of had them. This is an homage to the top 10. That was one of the ones that was in my top 10 in a way. I like the Arizona Coyotes here.
That's the one.
And, man, the Kashinas get me. I dig it. The purple looks really good. I could kind of, okay. My one gripe with this, I don't mind the tail pattern. I could do the cacti can get out of here though, or at least if you're going to do it, maybe make them look a little more modern. Don't make it obvious that you're going for, the Keith Kachucks.
Yeah.
But I've always liked the Coyote mask logo. Mm-hmm. I think it's dope. Speaking of cool shoulder patches, the tribal lizard that is on the shoulder here.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I like the purple. I like the purple a lot. Again, we talk about purple. If you could make purple work, dude, you've got something. I think these work. I don't like them as much as the regular Kachinas, but these I had to bring up. I love that logo. I love the color. I had him in my top 10, and I went, fuck, dude.
They were number 4 for me.
Okay. You had him higher than I did. Hell yeah.
What's funny is I looked at it and I'm like, I shouldn't love this.
Nobody should.
There's a desert on the sweater. There's cactus.
Right. In a sport played on ice.
Why do I love this? Well,
there's also a moon.
There's also a moon. Purple, orange.
Yeah. Win-win.
I'm a Suns fan.
Right.
A little Phoenix unity here. Again,
right.
I like that. I didn't even put that together until right now.
Live on air learning, kids.
And for some reason, this really doesn't bother me. For some reason, it's okay by me. I guarantee you do that with any other team and do like a city skyline on their tail
stripe.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Somehow they get away with it.
They do. I think it's because it's just like, oh, look, Arizona, the desert's got a hockey team, and they've got some. I mean, the Kachinas are by their very nature, very in your face, and distracting and aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the same way. I mean, they accomplish it. You know what I mean? It's not as whatever as the base alternate Kachinas, but it's the same concept. And they hit it out of the park, in my opinion.
So Rob says the Red Wings jersey looks like someone squirted ketchup all over a white jersey. Notice we did not bring up the Wings.
Nope.
And Water Moccasin.
That's my brother-in-law.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I'm in the minority, but I like the LA Kings, which you said.
Yep.
Oilers were definitely on my 10. Wild
okay.
in both of ours. The Canes and the Jets round out my top 5. So right around where we are.
Yeah,
for the most part.
And that's even looking at it as we're looking on the screen here at all of them. There's a couple I'm like, man, I left a couple off, but I mean that's what sacrifices have to be made.
So we've got plenty of time here. I want to go over the rest of my losers.
Let's do it.
And then we have to talk about the other one that pissed me off since it didn't come up.
Okay, I've still got a lot left to talk about, pal, so I'm in.
And then we'll come back to like the good shit.
Yeah,
we'll close it out with
let's do
some
it.
good shit. So I already told you the Sabres were losers to me because Buffalo
words.
On the dick. Get that shit out of here. We're going to stay right here at the top of the alphabet.
Yo.
These new Ducks that can get the F out of here, please. Go away forever.
The Wild Wings.
Go away forever. This is awful.
They're terrible, man. These are like a weird, and this is where a hockey snob gets weird because there's a lot of hockey community that loves these. And I don't look, man, you can't I get what you're trying to do here.
I don't.
But you can't. The duck itself, there is way too much going on in that logo. It's off center. Mm-hmm. Your tail stripe is water. The duck is popping out of it. No. The font also reeks of just like
Comic Sans or some garbage.
I was going to say clip art shit.
Yeah.
Just awful, dude. It's not good. It's not good, man. You have one job if you're Anaheim. Put the duck and the Jason mask up there. Just bring back the
Disneys.
Yeah, bring back the Paul Correa, Timu Solanis, and instead of making them predominantly teal, make them predominantly fucking purple.
Yeah. Win. Because that color scheme is win.
Yes.
That color scheme. There's no reason the Ducks should have bad gear.
There's really not. And they took it, and that just meant you should not have a logo that is that, and I'm just noticing it now, the duck, the Wild Wing logo has the good logo on his chest.
So, like, why are you doing this to us?
You shrunk the good logo and put it on steroid Duck's chest and then surrounded him in a bunch of fake smoke and water.
This is egregious.
I hate these. I also was like, ugh.
Probably my least favorite of all of the reverse retros.
They're definitely, yes, I agree.
All right, let's go on down to the V's here. You know how I feel about the whale Canucks.
They're on mine as well.
I don't know what is happening here. I already don't like the logo. The color scheme's fine. Doesn't bother me. But what they've done with the color scheme can get the fuck out of here.
It's their current, it's their current color scheme. We've talked about the Canucks before. I had their flying skates on as my number 2 on my top 10. I don't like that whale logo either. I think you got to go either flying skate or the current logo that's like the rectangle with the hockey stick in there. I know it's simple, but
what does a whale have anything to do with the Canucks?
I don't fucking know, man.
As far as I know, Canuck is like just a different way to say Canadian.
Yeah, and you take there's a gradient in this. These are a tip of the cap to they wore them in the late 90s when like the Sedines were still like little seamen. And the gradient was a dark like a navy blue and it gradiented, I don't know if that's a word, but
it is now.
We made it one down to blue, like a burgundy-ish. I don't know why if you're the Canucks. I was hoping so bad for a flying skate.
Yeah.
I was like, let them please go back to that.
Now's the time for it.
Dude.
Give me the flying skate on that color scheme and I'm okay.
It's fine. And we got gradient whale.
Like
this was the first one that jumped out to me because I have such high, like we said, I hate when a team, they are the exception to the rule for me, the Vancouver Canucks. When a team goes out of their typical color scheme and goes and reaches for something else and then they go back.
Mm-hmm.
There's shit that the Canucks have that I love. Again, number 2 on my top 10. Go listen, kids. But the Canucks also have elite level trash in their wardrobe.
Lots of it.
They are very spectrumy.
Yeah.
And this is the Canucks could have been so good. And this was one of the teams I had high hopes for in this project. And they just shit all over my chest.
They fell really, really, really flat.
Yes.
So now let's come up here. We just praised the Flames not but a couple weeks ago. And in said appraisal, we mentioned the one blemish in the history of their gear. And they decided, hey, let's spotlight that.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back.
Why is the flaming horse head back?
I hate the Stampede again, Liz. I don't like these. They're awful. I get the logo, okay, Stampede, whatever, Calgary, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine.
It makes sense.
It
but
does.
No.
Shoulder patch it.
Yeah.
Shoulder patch it.
Sure.
That is not, if you're the Calgary Flames are one of those teams that you cannot you with that logo. You
have
got
an awesome flame as a logo.
It's right. It's a flaming sea. There's nothing cooler than that. And why do you now take a horse and he's blowing smoke out like fucking Goldberg? I hate this logo. I'm fine with it if it's a shoulder. If you patch it up here, man, I'm fine with it. But
you're throwing it in my face, something that I hate.
It's too big. It is way too big. And it's not even intimidating looking.
No.
If you're going to put a flaming horse on a sweater, the bitch better be scary.
Yeah.
No, man.
This makes me want to laugh.
It's awful. It is so bad.
And losers galore, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, I will jump at any opportunity to shit on these fuckers.
Now, I love the Pens colors. I love most of this jersey, but they've gone back to Pittsburgh slanted across.
It's
so lazy.
I will say this, and it pains me to say this as a Flyers fan, but if the Penguins were not the Penguins, I would like their gear.
Mm-hmm.
They're the Cowboys on ice. Like I can't be but so complimentary of them. But I respect the color scheme. I get the skating penguin with the hockey stick. I get all of it. All of it is respectable. Fuck them, but it's respectable.
Mm-hmm.
Man, why? I didn't get this when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Why are you trying to be the Rangers now?
Yeah.
And now we reverse retro and we go back to this. To me, I thought Pittsburgh was going to go back to, they had their inaugural color scheme when they were the powder blues. I thought, okay, they're going to go back because that was well before they switched to the black and gold that had become Pittsburgh's, Jizz Fest. I thought for sure it was going to be the powder blues. And again, powder blue, it's in the logo for this podcast. We like us some powder blue. I wouldn't like it so much on a pen sweater, but it's still powder blue.
Yeah. This is a major step back.
It is.
Again, I'll put the current Pens somewhere in the upper half of the league. I wouldn't call it elite. I wouldn't call it any of my favorite.
Right.
But it is in the top part of the league uniform wise. The Lemieux, I never liked these. I mean, and again, there is some hatred because it's the pens.
Of course.
Like the pens were in our way like a lot in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's even lazier than the Rangers because at least the Rangers were first.
It's original, exactly. And it not only that, but the Rangers are less cluttered because it's less letters.
Yeah. It's too much.
It's jammed in there, man. You can't, no. Just no.
No. And then, of course, my last loser was the Sabres. Now,
yeah. No, you're right, though. You're right.
And my one last angry. This made me so mad because it's the best of the bunch. It is the best jersey of the bunch. Hands down, without a doubt, even with the scheme.
Yep.
The Colorado Avalanche had the nerve to put out a Quebec Nordiques sweater. How dare you?
Dude, it's just like it's like Carolina in a way, with the whale. I love the fact that the Igloo and the Fleurs are back on a hockey sweater. Mm-hmm. I love it. But you know what you could do? Move the fucking Panthers to Quebec.
Yeah.
And
why not
have Colorado give up the rights, because this sweater is exquisite. It is so good. It is so good. But
I almost bought a Joe Sakic jersey.
Right, dude.
I hate that guy.
He's the worst. But you want.
I want a Deke sweater.
You want the Fleurs. You want the Igloo. You want the Dekes are great. And now we have it when you've had the Avs have what the Avs have had for years. And I think you hate the Avs gear more than I do. Mm-hmm. There's one they have in particular that can get the fuck out of here. But they're normal, whatever. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. I'm not going to buy one.
Right.
I want to own one of these, but it's like, man, I'm putting money. It's the same as the whale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't. The whale being worn in Raleigh, North Carolina, is equally as egregious as the Igloo and the Fleurs being worn in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing that makes me so mad is that they've gone straight Dekes here. This is a Dekes sweater.
All in, dude. Yeah.
Except for they've applied their color scheme, which I love the Avalanche color scheme.
Same.
It's just they've had that same garbage for like ever.
Yep.
Forever. And yes, they
need a tweak.
There is some personal hatred because the Devs and the Avs were like kind of at each other for a good while at the beginning of 2000s, I think.
Yep.
But the audacity to put out a Quebec Nordiques sweater and say, hey, we're the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, buy. No. Give us money for somebody else's. They're not even, I'll say this, at least Hartford and Raleigh are on the same coast. Denver and Quebec aren't even in the same fucking country.
I'm so angry at this.
Justin Trudeau should give a cease and desist.
I'm so angry at this. Irrationally.
Dude, yeah.
But still, like, how dare you? Because again, if that's an actual Quebec Nordiques jersey, it is my favorite. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yep.
I'm not buying a Colorado Avalanche jersey. You're not tricking me into buying an Avs jersey.
It is fraud. It is fraud to the highest degree. And again, Hartford is as well. Colorado. This is more of a fraud job to me, because at least Carolina will do like Whalers Night a couple nights a year. Okay. It doesn't make it any less offensive, but they've made an effort to, okay, let's keep the whatever alive for whatever reason. You haven't seen the Igloo in goddamn 25 years.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs.
Exactly what it is.
Mr. Krabs, we're seeing dollar signs, and they know people are going to buy these because they're fucking cool.
It's if I could pull aside my hatred for the Avs and feeling like this was fraudulent,
yes,
I would buy one because it's awesome.
They're great, dude.
It is an awesome sweater.
They are great.
It is gorgeous. But I do have to say,
you lose.
I meant to say it for all those other ones at the bottom. But
yes.
Man, it just makes me irrationally angry.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I get where you're coming from with that and Hartford.
This one makes me madder than Hartford for sure.
It is more. I have them both in my list, but they both have asterisks next to them because they're, it's like Barry Bonds. Like, okay, yay, but question marks. Under my shit category, you brought up the Vancouver Canucks. Rob brought up the Red Wings. So that covers those two.
Yeah, again, the Red Wings have like tentpole gear. Like, what is this? How dare you?
Man, it's so in the gray tail stripe. It's just, man, there's a significance of the gray that I can't think of off the top of my head. So that there tells me, okay, get out of here then with that. So my other two are right next to the Dallas Stars on the NHL website, or right next to the Detroit Red Wings on the NHL website. The Dallas Stars, look, man, the Stars have pretty historically awful gear.
Mm-hmm.
Someday we will cover all of them. We've talked about them in the Discord before. If you want to join us in the Discord, we will plug it at the end of the pod. You should.
Wow. His name I just blanked.
Clark,
yeah. Clark a Stars fan?
Yeah.
We should try to get him on to talk Stars with us.
He better not speak positively about any of it.
I know, right?
Because there's nothing good, man. And I'll say this, man, with the Stars, with these. I get the concept of the Star sweater. The Brett Hull's, the Eddie Belfours they won the cup in when Brett Hull's foot was in the fucking crease. I get what you're trying to do. It doesn't mean it's good, but I get it. You take the star pattern, you take this, and you make it the current Stars victory green, they call it.
Yeah.
Because that green is a hard-on. It is great. So good. And I don't want to delve too much into our opinion on Stars.
Yeah.
But, man, you're a logo away.
You're a logo away.
That's it. That green is so good. Take the Stars, man. I don't know what it's too white. You got make the star a different color then.
Please.
Make the star the gold. You had gold on your sweaters back in the day.
Yeah.
With the when Neuendijk was there, when you won the cup. Put gold there. Something. It just looks like somebody started designing a sweater and forgot about the rest.
It's like, oh, those are due tomorrow? Let me copy your homework.
Yeah. Let me just throw it in. Fuck it.
What? At this point, I would have been okay if they would have just put those out again. Those Neuendijks.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least there's color, man.
Yeah.
This is junk.
This is not good.
Junk. You see the stars in the middle and you see the captain, which Jamie Benn's going to wear, and, that's it. But other than that, it's whatever. I have another one. This is shout out to Mike Powers, who we had on for the Isles episode.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Islanders too, man. And I'll say this as a preface. I like that sweater.
Yeah.
I like it. By itself, standalone, I like it. And I get what they're doing with the homage. The tail stripe in the sleeves is a nice homage to the 80s when they won 4 cups in a row, the first of which was against, my Flyers. Go fuck yourself. But, I get why you want to go back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The drive for 5, I get it. But hoping, wishing one hand, shit in the other, which fills up first. I wanted the Fisherman.
Yeah.
I wanted the Fisherman because we've done a complete 180 on that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, now they're like the lovable loser sweaters.
Yep.
And I wanted some sort of teal in there from the Fisherman sweater. This looks, again, reverse retro, man. This is just...
You just put out an old jersey.
Yeah.
And while it can work, and like you said, in a vacuum, that jersey on its own, it's good.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
I like it. And fuck the Islanders because, still not over it.
But it's lazy is what it is. Especially the Isles. You have a couple tricks up your sleeve.
Do something as simple as throw some teal on the shoulders. Make that white... make the numbers in the white, the striping on the sleeves and the tail stripe. Make that teal. Outline the crest in teal. Boom. Now you got at least a reference point to the Fisherman years.
Yeah.
It's just, I like the sweater, but when you look at all the concepts of everything else, you're just like, oh, look, an Isle sweater.
Yeah. It's just
cool.
There's nothing much different. Like, it is funny because I praised the Panthers for doing that. But I think it's because they've had such shit gear.
Well, and at least the Panthers, though, went back to... I mean, that's a hard critique because the Isles logo, save for the Fisherman, has been the same.
Yeah.
At least the Panthers went back to their old logo. You know what I mean? So there's a retro. One of the words applies. Both do, because they reverse the color scheme with the Panthers. But it's fucking, they wear that.
Yeah.
That's Long Island right there.
Yeah. A couple other mentions. I rated these Rangers high, which is, I think it's because the Rangers traditionally, I hate their gear.
Yeah, it's junk.
And I remember hating the Lady Liberties.
Gretzky wore these.
And when I look at this here, I don't know if it's just because of my hatred for some of the other ones.
Yeah.
It didn't make my 11, but it was at the top of my middle of the pack. Which is strange.
Yeah, they're not. I struggle to say anything good about the Rangers, and I know you do too as a Devils fan. I'll put it this way. They're not as gross as the typical Mark Messier's, hey, let's put the letters across.
Yeah.
I mean, they're for the I mean, we've talked about them in the Discord before ad nauseum. If you're going to give me an option as a Rangers sweater, okay, I'll take Lady Liberty, but whatever.
You're still the Rangers.
Whatever.
And I still hate your guts.
It's still a fucking WNBA logo.
My boring pick that I skipped over, the Ning.
I dig the bolts, man.
Yeah.
I dig it. I've always been partial to those, the inaugurals. I kind of like them better black, but again, it's the reverse retro. It fits perfect, man. These look good, man. And the Lightning overall, I mean, their sweaters now are kind of just, I don't want to say basic, but they're clean. They're clean.
Yeah.
We use that word a lot.
Yeah.
These are a little more busy, but I like it. The font on the back, too. I hope they went back to the Damon Langkow font because that font was super 90s.
And we just had Joe on the Capitals.
Dude, and that's why I left because they did the Buffalo. They put they put Capitals in the tail stripe back in the Peter Bondra, Ole Kolzig days.
Like, no, don't.
We know you're the fucking Capitals. Stop.
They were so close here.
Dude,
so close.
I had them on my list, and then I kept adding other teams, and I was like, I can't fucking put them up here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be a hypocrite because I left Buffalo in, but, I guess bias because I like the Sabres better than I like the Capitals.
I had the Devs in there, too.
I was going to say, we have to... I'll run through my junk after you're done with yours, or the good ones I've got afterwards. And then I think we have to mention our teams.
Yeah.
Because I had yours very high on my list as a spoiler.
Let's see. All my junk is done.
Yeah, I covered my junk. I've got all good things left.
All right, so let's see. Who didn't I mention? Let's see. We did the Coyotes, the Habs, the Wild, the Kings, the Ning, the Panthers. The Oilers I had, which your brother-in-law brought up.
Yeah, I don't...
It's because it's the Oilers.
I don't hate them, man. I don't. I like those, and that's like the Gretzky era stripes on the sleeves and they just fucking go back to that. I like the Oilers look. I don't care for them as a team, man, but that logo is dope.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike that Oilers look. The thing I hate is 3D oil drop, where they went completely color scheme like black, gold, and white, and you're like,
oof.
Doug Waite, what the fuck is this?
Oof.
The Ryan Smiths, why are we wearing these?
Terrible.
This is not Edmonton. Stop playing with me.
Just terrible.
They're not good.
And then we'll come back to New Jersey after you finish your good stuff.
Okay, so I went through my junk. I've got as a fringe, I know we touched on them recently, Ottawa. Yeah. And all it is just their new gear. But it's literally reversed.
Yep.
I don't like it as much as the black sweater with the red stripes, but it's weird because in these reverse retros, like we talk about black alternates all the time, the theme here seems to be everybody gets a red sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but again, it works for Ottawa. It works for Ottawa, man. There's other teams in here like Columbus. It looks like shit. I wish Columbus, as a side note, as I just mentioned, and put that shoulder patch with the cannon. Put that as your crest. The CBJ thing, fucking stop.
I don't even get it.
It just, I like the Columbus shoulder patch. This typically comes with the light blue and the creams. I like that sweater. take that and do the red, play with the red, because that's the theme here. But anyway, not to touch too much on Columbus. I dig the Ottawa sweaters. I also have the Chicago Blackhawks, and fuck them.
That's
fuck
hard.
them.
Yeah.
Fuck them, because Patty Kane is a rapist, and he scored the game-winning goal against my Flyers in 2010 Stanley Cup, and I'm a grown-ass man, and 10 years later, I still hate them for it, but these are fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
I like the retro logo that's on the front. I like the simplicity of the black, the white, and the red color scheme. Hate them as a team. Dig that look. We talk about them, and this is the last one I've got on my list till we touch on our teams. We've talked about them before. You had them at number 1, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
You had them at 1 on your top 10. I love this Maple Leaf sweater. That is a logo I believe they won the Stanley Cup with back in the 60s. I like the silver stripe down the sleeve. I dig that. I like that they go back to the Potvin, the Felix Potvin style leaf. You know what I mean? The simplistic leaf. You've got that retro Toronto Maple Leafs font. I love that silver in there. There's a part of me that likes these almost as much as their typical gear. And I'm very much the same way. I will not ever own a Toronto sweater because
It's Toronto.
20 years ago, man, the Pat Quinn Leafs, I still hate them. I'm a grown-ass man. I was a child then, and I still hate Darcy Tucker to this day and fucking Ty Domi and all them. I hate those Pat Quinn-era Leafs with a burning passion 15, 16, 17 years later. So that prohibits me from a purchase, but I acknowledge those. Goddamn, they're good. They are fucking good, man.
So we'll jump up to my devs.
Let's do it.
Now, if you asked me, hey, Justin, would you like a green devil sweater? Normally, I would say no.
Feeling festive?
I would normally say no. I do not want a Christmas sweater at all. They've done these well. I don't know if they tweaked the green. It looks like a shade darker, maybe?
It may be, or maybe it's just because it's so dominant it's not an accent here. Maybe. But
Maybe.
it does look lighter.
I like the stripes. I put them at number, I think it was 11, because I didn't want to be Homer.
Okay.
2, 3. Yeah, they were at 11. And are they my favorite? No. They're not my favorite devil sweater. They're not my favorite retro sweater. But
would you rock one though?
I would rock one.
Dude.
Absolutely.
They are, and I'll say that they can't be your favorite when you're a Devils fan.
Yeah.
I mean, that they've got elite level gear as it is. I had them, and I'm not homerific with the Devs. I had you guys at 4 behind my asterisk split of the Avalanche and the Hurricanes because I grouped them in together because fraud.
Yes.
So I just made them one big fraud category. But I had Wild 1, Kings 2, Avs and Canes at 3, and I had the Devs at 4, man. I dig this a lot. And I was never really but so big on the Eric Weinrichs where you had the green in there.
Yeah.
I didn't hate them, but it's like, man, if you're the Devils, you got to be black, white, and red.
Yeah.
But I like this look, man. The green is a dominant color I like a lot. I'm not going to lie. I would prefer a regular Marty sweater because I love those. But if I'm going to rock a Rivals jersey in hockey, it's the Devs, 100%.
It's elite level gear. And as I'm trying to get like more back into hockey, if I find a player that I can latch onto to buy this jersey, or if there's a number 14 already, which there might be a number 14 on the squad.
So there used to be Adam Henrique, but they traded him to Anaheim. I don't know if anybody else, if any of the Devils' younger guys have taken it. If not, that was the old number 14, the most recent that I know of, who now plays in Anaheim. But the Devils are kind of in an Ottawa situation, although they're further along. The Devils have a lot of nice young talent, dude, a lot. And they just brought in, who the fuck did they bring in at goalie? I think Corey Crawford, who won a Stanley Cup with the Blackhawks against us. Fuck him. And he used to play with the Admirals. I watched him, many, many years ago when he was, the goalie for the Admirals, when I'd go watch him when they play the Phantoms. He's good, man. And I there's a lot, if you get back in, point being, long rant shortened up, you'll find a dude.
Yeah, I will. And I love that the reason they went green heavy, not just because of reverse retro, but New Jersey just legalized marijuana.
Really?
That was part of their choice.
I like them even more now. And I'm not even weed guy, but fucking A, dude.
So I was like, because they tweeted out like the original reverse retro coming soon, and it was like just mostly green. And somebody said, blah, blah, blah. What? And they said, weed, WEED, tell you, but then we'd have to kill you. So I like that played into their decision making here.
Good for the devs PR department. I like a personality in a team.
And so like you've got elite level Devils gear. Like I don't feel like I'm speaking out of school here. I feel like that's a fair statement. Elite level Devils gear.
Yeah.
And you've tweaked it to green and somehow made it work. And I'm willing to buy one, so you've done something right.
That's the win. That's the win. Dude, can we reach into your pockets and take your dollars?
Yeah.
If you're willing to do it, then hey, it's a win. Which is the same for me with my squad, man. The Flyers one, I'm going to be adding one of these to my wardrobe. I love the homage. I grew up with the Legion of Doom Flyers years. Lindros, LeClaire, Renberg, Hextall and net, man. Eric Desjardins, Chris Therien is a starting defensive pair. These are the style sweaters they wore. And I was really close when we did Fave Teams, Fave Gear to going with the original orange homes of this style. I was really close. And I ended up going with the 2012 Winter Classics. But I like these, man. The black shoulder stripe is something that has never been done in the history of the Flyers. Now, there's been a stretch. We've had black sweaters. I'm wearing one right now. But there's never been the black on the sleeves. You know what I mean? And I've always liked, while I do like the Flyers black sweaters, I feel like a Flyers sweater is best when it's not a white one, when the predominant color is orange. I feel like it has to be. But you add that black in there.
Yeah.
And now not only does it make me think Halloween, but I love it, dude. I love it. And I was really hoping during this concept, I'm like, okay, I hope the Flyers it doesn't fucking bomb, because I'd really like that. That's the cool part. When your team puts out new gear, it gives you a reason to be like, okay, investment time.
Yeah.
I have carte blanche now to go piss away $150 on something I can wear 6 months out of the goddamn year.
Yeah.
I already know the player I want in these.
There you go.
I already know the player I want. And I it's fucked up because remember I told you, like, before we went on, like, they came on, the alert came out this morning at 10 o'clock is when I got the ding from the NHL app on my phone. And I it wasn't but a couple hours later and the light bulb went off. Oh, does Fanatics have them on sale yet? And I went, and when they did, and I was like, oh.
Corey's just itching to give you that money.
Yeah. I'm like,
please. Here's my credit card.
I'm not at the limit on my credit card yet. Like, I can
keep it coming.
I'll just fucking pay it back with taxes. Like, I'm good, man. I want the Kevin Hayes number 13 sweater. And that's why I was saying, I'm like, man, number 13. This is how much of a fucking loser I am. Yes, 13 Halloween. I'm a Friday the 13th guy. I'm like, dude, it's fucking Kevin Hayes.
Yeah.
He's one of the next jerseys I want anyway. So this is the perfect one to get in him. He's likely going to be our next captain. You know, after Captain Irrelevant gives a Captain Invisible, Claude Giroux in the playoffs gives up the C. I love these, man. I love them. I kind of, my only gripe is the kind of white that ends the sleeve, but it's a true reverse retro because in the Legion of Dooms you had where the black goes on the sleeves, it was white, and then where the white was down the sleeves was black. So it stays true to the concept. I can't be mad. I love them.
It also doesn't take away.
Right.
Like, it'd be different if it was like, oh, well, that just erases everything they've done here.
Yeah.
It's just a nitpick.
Yeah, it's just being a diva. It's just being a diva. Also, real quick, I want to mention another one that wasn't my. We did the top 10. It was kicked off our top 5 right underneath of the Flyers on the NHL website. The St. Louis Blues, going back to those 90s,
The slants.
just the 90s in a sweater. Yeah. This proves, okay, because I remember you being surprised when I picked them because there is good Blues shit. I love these, man, as a 90s, somebody who grew up watching hockey in the 90s. But this right here proves these sweaters, these angle horn, the horn and the stripes, they don't work unless it's blue.
Yeah.
They don't. And I looked at it at first and I went, oh.
I had that same feeling.
Like at first I was like, it normally is different.
It's the design.
Yeah.
So you see the design and you're like,
oh, cold
and then
water.
you settle in, oh,
yeah.
red.
Right. It's the reverse because normally you look at some and your first reaction is, at least for me, I don't know, like normally a lot of times like I'll look at some guy that sucks and then look at like the Islanders, the Fishermen. Eventually over time you kind of warm up. It's like, man, is it really that bad?
No.
You know?
No.
I'm not laying in bed thinking about the Blues reverse retros.
I am.
You know? I'm thinking about the Blue Bombers in bed. You know? Those dicks. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because we were looking at the Flyers sweater. I saw the Blues logo underneath and just went, man.
Well, you know what? I mean, at this point, between the both of us, we've hit almost every team. So
we've talked. I think we literally have talked about all of them.
Yeah,
except,
you mentioned the Blue Jackets even. So
okay, we have touched on it. Well,
the Bruins, which they just didn't do anything here.
They didn't.
It's just literally reverse.
Which I mean I like, man. It's okay. The Bruins have good gear, man.
This is middle of the pack, though.
Yeah, I hate the Bruins, but I'm never going to take away anything from them in the identity department, the gear department. It's okay. It's a solid look. They have a meth bear as the shoulder patch, but whatever. The other team, the final team, we'll just mention it here just so let's fucking round it out. We touched on all 31. The Nashville Predators.
Oh, yeah.
We did not touch on. And
that's why.
They're not very good, man. The
They're middle of the pack. They're the Predators.
Dude,
I don't like them.
Yeah, look, man. They
hockey in Nashville.
That too, you know, and with it, we tried to pretend Nashville was a hockey city for about 30 minutes, and then went, oh yeah, nope. I liked this logo. The Preds have some shit in their in history's closet though. I don't hate the inaugural Pred style sweater, but that yellow is just get out of here. I liked it better when it was blue. If you want to know what it looks like, you know, the David Legwans, the Chemo Team, and it's the inaugural Predator sweater. That was the win. Everything else since then for Nashville has pretty much gone to shit. And this is part of it.
I think we've covered literally every team.
We have.
I just want to point out yet again, Anaheim Ducks.
You lose.
Dear Lord.
It's way too busy.
I'll give you one more.
You lose.
So terrible. Okay, well. Oh, one last thing before we get out of here.
Yes.
I got to show you this. This
Okay.
excited me. I don't use my Facebook anymore, but I do occasionally open up the for like deprogrammed and stuff.
Yeah.
This is going to be an episode one day. But a friend linked me to this.
Huh.
And I don't know if you've ever seen Basketball, but I have, and it is one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's been a long time, and I haven't thought about it in years until seeing this.
So there's a Milwaukee Beers jersey in front of us, and in Basketball, they rocked these.
Yeah.
And I actually asked Dian Bakar in the early 2000s on MySpace Friends, hey, did you get to keep your jersey? And he goes, no.
Oh,
So,
man.
like, even the people in the movie don't have these. Now,
That's a bummer. Now anybody can have them.
dude, look at this. $40?
Yeah, dude.
Like, I saw that and I'm like, I may have to get this.
Yeah, man. Whenever you see whenever there's a line through a price that's to the left of the current price, dope.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I mean,
that is rad. Hell yeah.
we may be talking about movie uniforms in
Movie
our
gear.
future.
Yes.
So,
that is a must.
oh boy. Well, we've done it, Corey. We went up and over an hour.
I knew this one would be. I knew it would be.
Well,
It had to be.
I mean, we probably could have wrapped after hours, but like, between the two of us, like we kept covering more ground. So,
Right. Well, and then once you were like, I think we've talked about every team. Like, no, wait.
Yeah. Two more.
Columbus and the Preds first. Yeah. And now we've covered them all.
Unreal. Unreal. But hey, if you dig this program, first things first, hit that share button.
Yes.
Because honestly, algorithms be damned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the subscribe, rate, comment, all that is awesome. And we are on every podcast platform. So please do those things.
Yes.
But the best way to help us is by hitting that share button. Tell somebody you know, hey, check out the Gear Freaks podcast. Do whatever you have to do to get them to hit play on an episode. And if you want to play along live, you can hit the Discord up.
Yep.
We're forever chatting about gear in the Discord.
All hours.
And somebody is going to post some weird gear, and it's going to spin off into some weird conversations.
Yep.
And it's always a blast.
We get episodes out of it.
Yeah.
You know? That's how we like, and that's what's been so cool is like the first thing when the reverse retros came out, I thought of everybody in the Discord because we've been talking about this for weeks.
Yep. And thusly, the anticipation grew.
Yeah.
Now, next time, I'd like to open it up to. I'd like to have people listening live, so we can open it up to you, so you can come in and chat to us about whatever we talked about.
Exactly.
So to do that, you have to be in the Discord. Right now, it's called Oh Hi Justin, but if you'd like a link, ask either myself or Corey, and all you have to do is join and have a valid email.
That's it.
That's literally
Just
it.
be a real person.
And then come in, chat with us about gear. And like I said, we're on all podcast platforms. Subscribe, rate, comment. All that stuff is cool.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is way cooler.
Word of mouth is still the best medicine, kids. Also, give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at Gear Freaks Pod. We are on there. We interact. Let's do the thing. Again, like Justin said, spread the word. If you had fun here, if you've had fun any episodes, why not tell people, man? Dude, look at all the shit we got going on in the world right now. Don't you want to help a buddy out, give him something positive? Who the fuck doesn't like talking gear?
Right?
You know?
And I guarantee you, if you've never done it, I guarantee you once you have, you're going to become a freak like us.
Oh,
and you're never going to not notice it.
Right. Like once, again, Minnesota Wild, number 1 on my list. When Joe pointed out, did you know?
It's a bear.
Like, what? They've been around 20 years. I've seen a ton of Wild games, and I just thought it was a bunch of trees and shit. I've always wondered, like, okay, I get it, but...
I mean, at least you're not me. I thought it was a wolf. So
You were further along than me. I just thought it was like, hey, a lake because 10,000 lakes and we got trees and shit here and cabins.
Oh, God.
That's it. That's the only correlation I made. And I thought, that's kind of stupid, but I don't hate it. Now it's a bear head, and you will never unsee it.
And also, Milwaukee, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers can kiss my ass.
Go all the way to hell.
The damn tweets.
Come on.
Come talk to us, or we will forever badmouth you. And I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
I think you got away with it last week. With Joe, I don't think we mentioned the Blue Bombers at all. So lucky you.
Oh, wow. Maybe we didn't. Yeah.
Lucky you.
We gave them a week off, man.
It was a week off.
It's their bye week.
But, hey, man. Reverse retro. I'm shitting on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers right now.
Right. Making up for lost time.
So screw you, Winnipeg.
Suckers!